Good morning, I'm Wendy Burke, and this is the CBC Morning Report for Friday, January 19th. In our top story, the non-aligned countries are presently meeting in Kampala, and the Commonwealth, which has 33 members who are also non-aligned, are among the 25 small island developing states, of which Barbados is one. The Morning Report spoke with Secretary-General of the Commonwealth, Baroness Patricia Scotland, about the meeting and how a document like Barbados's Bridgetown Initiative can help to address the unfairness of debt which climate disaster is bringing on these countries.
You have an absolute star as your Prime Minister. She is a star in the firmament for developing countries, and her leadership and her passion and the fact that she's pushed so hard on the Bridgetown Initiative has been incredibly important. But you know what has been fantastic about Bajans? You haven't just been talking, you've been doing. So all the things that Prime Minister Motley is doing, you know, the roof to reefs, the fact that we're looking holistically, the work she is doing with us in the Commonwealth on the Blue Charter, on the fact that we've now got the Living Lands Charter, which we're going to try to implement the 3 Rio conventions, and we're having action plans. The fact that we are now looking at how we absolutely improve the performance management of our governments with our smart systems. The launch that I've just had of the AI consortium and digital consortium, where we are reaching out to the big global companies in Silicon Valley and elsewhere, saying, help us with the capacity, build our capacity on AI so we can actually get the data, the structure that we need to help our countries to do it. And Barbados has been at the forefront of all of that. And it must be something that gives the people of Barbados huge pride. You know, they say in Jamaica, we are little, but we're talawa, we're powerful. And I think Barbados is really punching way above her weight. And there's a lot of excitement about the Bridgetown Initiative.
She says the non-aligned movement is very critical to the Commonwealth because 42 of the 56 Commonwealth members belong to the non-aligned movement.
Many of our developing countries have made considerable progress to improve the well-being of their people, but they're now bearing the brunt of a myriad of crises with the lingering effects of COVID-19, the soaring debt, inflation pressures, and intensifying climate extremes and disasters. And the absence of adequate international support is forcing many of our countries, and you'll see it so clearly in the Caribbean, to commit more and more of their limited resources into protecting their people from these crises, which further compounds their challenges, eroding the hard-earned progress on poverty, inequality, and development. And it's pushing many of our countries to the edge. I know you will have been so aware of the impact that all the climatic disasters that we've had in the Caribbean region over the last, 10 years? And the scale and the pace is getting harder and harder and more dangerous. And now to tackle these overlapping challenges, we really need more cooperation and solidarity than ever before. And the voice of the non-aligned movement is therefore essential. And the Commonwealth stands as a trusted partner in achieving our shared vision for a peaceful, just, and sustainable future for all.
The Secretary-General of the Commonwealth spoke to the meeting being a great platform to speak with a unified voice.
Unless we come together in solidarity to really fight and to have our voices heard, then we will be in a very difficult and poor position. So I am here to add my voice on behalf of the whole Commonwealth, but to support the 42 members who are part of the non-aligned movement, so that as we go forward in solidarity, we will be able to have our voices heard more clearly. And we have to consolidate everything we tried to do at COP28.
Coming up on the CBC Morning Report, hepatitis A epidemic breaks out in Gaza.
Kids Karaoke is a platform for young aspiring singers to shine and express their musical abilities. Tune in to CBC TV8 on Mondays at 5:30 p.m. and repeat it on Saturdays at 2 p.m. and enjoy the performances of these talented young singers.
For the past 19 years, QFM has been sharing with you, learning from you, and together building a community for all mature audiences. That's why we say Q is good for you. To our Q family, we say thank you for staying connected to Q 100.7 FM. QFM is a station of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. CBC, celebrating 60, connecting Barbadian communities.
Are you a youth group, 4-H club, school? A hepatitis A epidemic has broken out in the Gaza Strip due to overcrowding in displacement areas. It warned of the suspension of complete blood count tests at any moment due to shortages of what is being termed as necessary materials. The conditions endured by those who are displaced are exacerbated by the absence of toilets and sanitation facilities, along with waste accumulation near recently constructed tents.
Completely unbearable situations and conditions medical workers and generally the medical sector in Gaza had been going through. We're talking about a very a rapid increase of injuries on daily basis are arriving to hospitals that are still operating, one in Khan Yunis and the remaining are in Rafah district. But we can say that these hospitals are overcrowded with patients exactly as hepatitis C is starting rapidly to spread among children and adults, which hospitals right now become very crowded with such patients who are in a very immediate and in a very desperate need for urgent treatment, or to be at least being allowed to leave Gaza Strip for receiving such a treatment. But the reality on the ground that as long as casualties among civilians continue to rise, that means that more pressure on those hospitals to be providing the treatment, as the corridors, the yards and also medical workers are trying to do their best in order to keep providing the treatment for hundreds of Palestinians being wounded on a daily basis amid the unprecedented lack of medical supplies, despite all amounts that had been earlier been allowed to get into the territory. But right now, the entire medical sector is on the verge of collapse amid the notable shrink and dwindling of the amounts of fuel and aid had been allowed to reach these hospitals. But what we can say that they are trying to tirelessly keep providing treatment, unless just they are using a very primitive methods of care, as patients are being treated on the floor amid the very notable increased number of injuries that are arriving to these hospitals.
Indonesia has evacuated about 6,500 people on the island of Flores in Indonesia after Mount Lewatobi, Laki-Laki volcano spewed thick clouds of brownish ash over the past days.
This is Mount Lewatobi Laki-Laki, rumbling over eastern Flores and sending up dense plumes of hot ash from its crater since late December, with clouds as high as 1,500 meters. The flow of lava has increased in recent days. The mountain has 2 peaks, but only one is erupting.
There are still continuous tremors and low-frequency earthquakes. This means the movement of magma to the surface is very intense. This can be seen from the launching of lava in the northeast of the volcano.
Most residents in nearby villages are staying in evacuation centres. This group has been sleeping in a classroom since the beginning of the year.
We have enough food here, but my children are starting to get health problems. They have fever and flu, maybe because they're sleeping on the floor and because of the volcanic ash.
Most people in this area work in farming or fishing. The local government says the eruptions are affecting people's livelihoods, but safety has to come first.
We keep publishing information so people can understand that the impact of the eruption is not just dust, but also pyroclastic flow.
That pyroclastic flow travels fast and is made up of gas, ash and fragments of rock. Authorities say people must stay around 5 kilometers away from the center of the eruption. And they say there's also a risk of cold lava flooding if heavy rainfall occurs. We're travelling through the village of Norabelan. Authorities say this is within the danger zone. We're joining them on patrol as they try to find residents who haven't evacuated. But some have refused to leave their homes and farm animals.
In the beginning, yes, I was afraid, but now I'm used to the rumbling.
Authorities warn against such complacency, saying the dangers are constantly evolving as the eruptions continue.
This village is in the path of a lava flow and volcanic ash. It's very important for people to leave this area.
Before this latest round of volcanic activity, the last recorded eruption at Mount Lewatobi Laki was more than 20 years ago. Right now, the volcano is on Indonesia's highest alert of possible eruption.
Time now to preview what's coming up on Morning Barbados. This morning, we'll get to talk to the folks from the Gladiola Sports Club all about their community programming. We will also get to speak with Trevor Prescott, the Special Envoy on Reparations and Economic Enfranchisement. He'll be talking to us about that, as well as the rebirth of Dance Fest. Also coming up today, we will be telling you of the Junior African Awareness Pageant for 2024. As you know, that month of celebrations is coming up in February. We will also be getting a few performances, and we'll get to talk to the winning DJ from Dance Fest. So all these and more coming up on Morning Barbados. But first, more news, sports and weather after the break.
Are you a youth group, 4-H club, school, Cub Scout or Brownie Pack, or any organization or club with children ages 4 to 11 years? If yes is the answer, then we at Fun School, we're looking for you. Let's have fun singing, dancing, listening to amazing stories, doing craft, and so much more. I'm such a kid at heart. But to be part of this fun and exciting new season of Fun School, just simply send an email to Alicia Alves Grant at aa.grant@cbc.bb for further details. Fun School is back, and we're looking for you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News.
Yesterday's smoke incident that forced the closure of the St. Bartholomew Primary School is a recurring one for a long time, and it needs to be solved. Smoke from the incinerator at the Grantley Adams International Airport forced the early closure of the school, and the airport's management and education officials are working to resolve the environmental issue. First Vice President of the Barbados Union of Teachers, Julian Pierre, who is also the head of the union's Health and Safety Committee, says they have been aware of the problem, but a solution hasn't been found.
Incinerator at the Grantley Adams International Airport would be, I guess, downwind, as you would say, from the main buildings of the airport, which unfortunately, when they are burning and doing their thing, it blows further downwind into the neighboring district where the St. Bartholomew Primary School is. Now, it's been a number of years that the neighbors and, of course, the the persons who occupy the school during the day have been complaining about the smoke, which burns basically every day. Now, years ago, the residents indicated that they would prefer the burning during the day when they're at work. But you would appreciate then that those businesses that operate during daytime and the school then would be affected. We've had cases of teachers being transferred and requesting transfers, parents requesting that their children be transferred to other schools because of this problem, which has caused much respiratory discomfort.
Mr. Pierre says there have been efforts to get by the problem, but there's still complaints.
They indicated to us in that meeting that there's a system called scrubbing that they apply to the incinerator, which is supposed to reduce the amount of emissions which are released from the incinerator. However, teachers have been complaining for a period of time that they get smoke basically every day. It is a case of persons who suffer with things like asthma, sinusitis, and those other respiratory issues. They complain daily. You've had teachers and students who've been out, teachers on sick leave, students who are absent from school. So obviously the teaching and learning process is interrupted on a constant basis.
Gaia's corporate communications specialist, Charlene Brown, says they're taking the concerns expressed very seriously. She says Gaia wants to comprehensively address the issues.
We attentively listened to the reports from the school as well as the union representatives, understanding the gravity of the situation. Following this, we shared our plan of action aimed at mitigating the discomfort caused by the smoke. And to ensure transparency and thorough understanding, a team comprising our CEO and an engineer subsequently visited the school. What this visit did was allow us to directly observe the conditions during the morning period, which the school identified as particularly problematic due to the smoke and odor. This visit was instrumental in shaping our approach and reinforcing our commitment to finding a sustainable solution.
Barbadians can expect to benefit from improvements at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, particularly its Accident and Emergency Department. It comes as Phase 3 of that department is now operational, while the second phase is being upgraded. We get the details from CBC's Rianne Phillips.
The hospital's Director of Engineering Services, Paula Abu, outlined some of the benefits that will now be seen now Phase 3 of the A&E is in use.
We've included for X-ray and also space for CT now. The CT will be procured as part of our overall CapEx program, which we are set to embark on very, very shortly. Within Phase 3 that's recently been concluded, we also have a space for our casting and for our minor procedures, as well as a trauma room which can house 2 to 3 patients. In the past, we did not have a trauma room, a dedicated trauma room.
Phase 2, which previously served as the entrance, is being upgraded.
In terms of our waiting room area, the work that we're doing on Phase 2, which persons have now moved out to move into the newly completed space, will see us going from a naturally ventilated space to a fully air-conditioned waiting area. That fully air-conditioned waiting area now will improve the comfort of our patients and visitors that are waiting while they wait to get on the inner areas of the accident and emergency. Our inner areas have already been air-conditioned, and our isolation areas also have negative pressure in order to deal with any infectious diseases or infections that may come into the department.
And once the work is completed, the overall department will be much larger with increased bed space.
In the overall 18,000 square foot of space, we will now be moving to a total of 40 beds. That is quite a lot more than what we had in the past. And this will also redound to improving the amount of patients that we can see and put on beds. However, I don't want the public to think that as of tomorrow that those 40 beds will be available. Those 40 beds will be available towards the end of February, middle of March.
And the hospital's Chief Operations Officer, Dr. Christine Greenwich, says the works at the A&E are important in patient care.
This new space is an opportunity for us to improve our efficiency, but most importantly as well to improve the throughput. And the throughput in the emergency room is defined as simply this: from the time someone reaches the door, whether it is ambulatory, whether it's by the emergency ambulance service, to the point of where we call triaging. Triaging is a system of assessment that determines the level of the presentation that the staff must deal with. And therefore, we are better able to navigate where that patient needs to be, and therefore now operating on a full level instead of 3 different levels, we can respond much more appropriately in terms of the rapid assessment that some people need.
The upgrades are part of government's plans to improve the delivery of healthcare services to the public. Rianne Phillips, CBC News.
Guyana's Minister of Home Affairs, Robertson Ben, has expressed grave concerns regarding a notable increase of Venezuelan nationals within the prison population, describing it as the most rapidly expanding demographic. Minister Ben revealed those incarcerated have engaged in a wide array of crimes. We hear more in this NCN TV report.
I know that there were a couple who were arrested for carrying firearms at Arakaca, and there are a couple for murder, disorderly of course, but I'm just saying that momentarily, perhaps as a result of the influx we've had, that they have been the fastest growing currently section in the prison population in terms of foreign nationals.
This figure, however, accounts for less than 1% of the 28,000 Venezuelans residing in Guyana. Ben says his ministry is focusing heavily on the migrant situation.
Our work is cut out in respect of dealing with the migrant situation from Venezuela and from some other countries, and supporting those persons who come, making sure that they're vetted and identified for proper purposes and are supported in our communities. Unfortunately, I think the fastest growth population in the prisons are Venezuelans at the moment, momentarily, young men who get involved in.
As of today, January 17, there are 2,240 men incarcerated, while there are 60 females incarcerated in prisons across the country.
The Jamaica Constabulary Force has announced plans to increase its inventory of body-worn cameras to document officer interactions with civilians. This decision follows a recent report revealing the infrequent use of at least 400 body cams already available to officers island-wide. CVM Television reports.
The JCF made the announcement via social media Saturday evening. It says the move aims to increase transparency and accountability for both policemen and civilians. However, the post did not specify how the JCF plans to ensure officer compliance with this new measure. In a report earlier this year, the Independent Commission of Investigation, INDICOM, disclosed that out of 106 incidents, including 64 killings from January to June, law enforcement officers only wore body cameras once. In April, National Security Minister Horace Chang had indicated that the government aims to acquire an additional 1,000 body-worn cameras during the current fiscal year. The JCF indicates the introduction of these cameras will occur on a phased basis. The constabulary did not share a distribution timeline.
Belize's capability to detect incoming aircraft has been greatly improved with the historic installation of a primary surveillance radar system. The official inauguration of the $12 million piece of equipment was held on the grounds of the Philip Goldson International Airport. Prime Minister John Bracino expects the radar will help to bolster both the country's tourism sector as well as national defense.
Well, this is big because it is going to be a primary surveillance radar. And actually, I was just talking to the Cabinet Secretary, and it was kind of a bit nostalgic because when I was the Minister of Natural Resources and Environment, Stuart Leslie was reminding me that we were fighting for the Doppler system radar that we got when I was the minister. And we got it in 2007, right after I had resigned as the minister. But it's a sense of, you feel like a sense of accomplishment that you got something for Belize. And now here we are. I must commend former Minister Andre Perez, who was the person driving force behind this, pushing to ensure that we can upgrade the system that we have. Tourism, as I mentioned, is the number one industry in the country, 45% of GDP. So it is important for us to ensure that our skies are safe at all times. But then there's another second reason why it was this important for us, because we know the issue of drug trafficking, that Belize is used as a transit point. We have many aircrafts that would fly and land in different parts of the country. But now with this radar system, we'll be able to track it from far, from way before they get into our airspace.
The Windies lost the first test against Australia early on the third day, thus allowing the hosts to return the Sir Frank World Trophy. Resuming their second innings on 73 for 6 at the Adelaide Oval and trailing the hosts by 22 runs, the Windies were dismissed for 120. Josh Hazelwood took 5 for 35 to finish with match figures of 9 for 79. Set 26 to win, Australia ended on 26 without loss to win by 10 wickets. Scores in the match: Windies 188 and 120, Australia 283 and 26 without loss. Australia retained the Sir Frank World Trophy as they have an unassailable lead in the series. The second and final test starts next Thursday. As Barbados gets ready to host matches, particularly the final of the upcoming ICC T20 Cricket World Cup, the newly formed National Organizing Committee has at the forefront creating a legacy of the island as being a major event hub. The NOC, not to be confused with the local organizing committee, is being chaired by Ambassador Noel Lynch, who says a number of stakeholders are already on board.
But the National Organizing Committee is really the entity that prepares Barbados, that brings all of Barbados and all of Barbados together to enable us to host a proper World Cup. Now, let me say, one of the members of our team is apt to say that cricket is going to play anyway. Cricket can play, but you need the most pristine conditions under which this cricket will be played. And therefore, the National Organizing Committee has almost every ministry and agency in Barbados involved, government agency that is, and some private sector entities as well, in terms of preparing Barbados optimally to host the World Cup. In other words, so on our committee, there's the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Public Works, the Ministry of the Environment and National Beautification, the Ministry of Health, the Customs Department, the Immigration Department, the airport, the seaport. All these people are represented. The Attorney General's office. There's obviously a security component to this, which is a heavy component. So the Commissioner of Police is in these meetings, the Chief of Staff of the Barbados Defence Force. So these meetings is about pulling Barbados together, getting Barbados ready.
Operating under the theme, Prepare Barbados for World Cup 2024, a major mandate is to have the buy-in of all Barbadians, where persons can socially, environmentally, and economically contribute and subsequently reap the benefits before, during, and after the event. From the sporting perspective, the hope is that cricket returns to the core of our national development.
Cricket is one of the few endeavors that we've done, Barbados have done and done excellently globally for a long time. And we slipped a number of years. We want to utilize this particular event as the platform as well for rebuilding and renewing our cricket globally, getting the best out of our cricketers and getting the best people. We want more participation. We want more people involved. We want more fans, and we want more partnerships.
Among some of the initiatives set to be rolled out are 3 major fan zones at the proposed locations of Queen's Park, Hero Square, and the Richard Stout Amphitheatre in the Botanical Gardens. Time now to take a look at the weather picture. The barometric pressure stands at 1014.4 millibars and the temperature 25.4 degrees Celsius. The humidity is 87% with the winds coming from the east at 30 kilometers per hour. It's presently partly cloudy. The seas are moderate in open water with swells ranging from 1.5 to 2.5 meters and increasing. Small craft operators and sea bathers should exercise caution. The first high tide will be at 9:17 a.m. and the second at 11:49 p.m. The first low tide was at 3:33 a.m. this morning and the second will be at 5:32 p.m. In Barbados today, there will be a mix of sunshine and clouds with occasional scattered light showers. Tonight, a mix of clear skies and clouds with the occasional scattered light to moderate showers. That's today's morning report. Our next newscast is Newsday at 12 on TV8, followed by The World at 1 via our radio network of stations on 100.7 FM, 98.1 The One, and 94.7 FM. Coming up on Morning Barbados, we'll get to hear the folks from Gladiola. Yes, Norman Puckerin and Lana Nurse. We'll be talking to them about their community programming. Time now for Morning Barbados.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. We've made it to the end of the week. Yes, it's Friday. We've made it. We're happy you're here back with us this morning on Morning Barbados. This morning, we're going to have some excitement. Yes, all the festivities you can think about, sports, entertainment, dance, culture, the arts. We'll be having it this morning on Morning Barbados. Now, I want to welcome to the show this morning a name that I like to hear rolling off my tongue, Gladiola. Yes, I want to welcome the folks from the Gladiola Sports Club Community Programming, Norman Puckerin, who's the event coordinator at the Gladiola Sports Club, and Lana Nurse, who's the president of the club. Always good to see a woman heading something in sports. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, the Gladiola Club, first of all, I want to know where the name comes from as you give me a bit of the history of the club.
Okay, Gladiola originated, Gladiola is a flower. It stands for strength and upward movement. So basically that's the name that we adopted for the club.
Okay, and how long have you been going now, Lana?
Okay, the club was formed in 2016 after the defunct Cable and Wireless Line Floor BT, after there was no more cricket playing there. Then we started our club. We didn't have a home, so the first meeting was kept at the Lucky Horseshoe in Worthings. So everybody went their separate ways and stuff, so I decided that if the nucleus of the team wanted to stay, then I'll take it up and I'll run with it. Or I would give them the transfers and they can go to whatever club they want to go to.
But they decided to stay, and a man like Norman stayed at your side to help produce lots of events. Now tell us about some of these initiatives that you do in the community.
Okay, good morning, Wendy. Thanks for having me here. One of the big initiatives that we're going to have is on the 22nd of January, the Bar Bank Holiday at Rice's. It's a big cricket game between Gladiola Sports Club and members of the St. John and St. Philip community, ranging out of the police department. It's an initiative when I got a word from a frame of reaching out to the community. As part of the remit of Gladiola, it is to reach out to the community. So we are starting with a cricket match. There are other events that we had for the future. I have adopted a school, Wickes Raptors. Unfortunately, I can't show you the kit that we've got for them because I haven't presented them yet to the school.
Okay.
But it is a great initiative by the club to reach out to the communities. We will not forget our supporters. Over the past 6 to 8 months, we've had fun days, karaoke. So we are doing a lot of things at Gladiola.
So you all, and it sounds like it's always a fun time at Gladiola, Lana.
Yes, please. We are basically a community-oriented club, and with a mix of cricket and, youth and experience, like the cricket teams. We have 2 cricket teams, the intermediate and the elite, and we are the double white ball champions in Barbados. We won the 2020 last year, and this year we won the 50 over competition.
Okay, so we're always batting strong.
Yes.
Now, like cricket, I tend sometimes to see the folks over at the Rice's ground, and Norman, y'all have out there pack. So what's going to be different this time around?
Well, this one is going to be bigger. This one is going to be great. We got Ashley Nurse, Rivaldo Clark, all the great names, and it's a boy from the victory. As we were saying, boxing, the pound for pound champions. We are the white ball champions in Barbados right now. So we are expecting to have a good crowd. We have a good fan base that already comes out. But we're also asking for other individuals from St. John and St. Philip to come to the Rice's ground and support this cause. It's a very great initiative involving those concerned, and we look forward to seeing a massive crowd there.
Okay. Now, Lana, outside of giving back to the school, are there any other charitable organizations within the community that Gladiola also pairs with?
Well, at the moment, no, but it's in the pipeline. So we're just waiting to, to adopt a couple more individuals.
Okay, well, that's awesome to know. Now let's talk about what's going to be happening as Gladiola moves forward. Once we go past Monday's big game, what else is the club looking to do in 2024?
More the same for 2024 that we did in 2022. Karaoke is a once a month event, high and fun day. Something that I would like to put forward to the members when we go on after the annual general meeting is a week of activities. When I was in England, I think a week of activities, I think one club in Barbados that adopted it or used it before, is a great inspiration for the club to bring everyone involved. So that is one thing on the agenda, a week of activity along with the other things that we are accustomed doing at Gladiola.
He mentioned an AGM. Does that mean your post is up for grabs, Lana?
Well, right now I'm just the acting president. So when the AGM comes around, it doesn't matter, because I wear a lot of hats at Gladiola. I'm also the secretary, but I just picked up this post because, the president, before he is finished with that, so I just pick up that post to keep the club actually running until the AGM comes around.
Okay, and how many members active would you say you have right now?
Around, I can say about 40.
Oh, that's still a tidy sum to get together and do. And that's the team as well as all the other people that come on board to coordinate.
And we now have the supporters want to be members.
Oh, that's good.
So we have a good base at Gladiola.
So you're going to continue that membership drive? What activities, when you have your fun day, you're going to be having some registration too, Norman?
Well, we are more than willing to accept registration every time, but there's one special event that I will be holding on that day. There will be a presentation and one for the supporters, because without supporters, we won't get that drive to go on to win these 2 titles that we had this year. I'll be nominating 6 supporters who have been so good over the years to Gladiola and present them with a medal, a Gladiola medal.
No, that's really different because we sometimes just take it for granted that somebody's your fan and that they'll always be there. Nobody ever really says to them, thanks for coming out and inspiring. So that's awesome.
Thank you. These are all the great initiatives that we got planned for the future of this club. When I first take the role, I'm the floor member and I'm responsible for coordinating. I mentioned earlier that in 5 years' time, this is 2 now, that Gladiola will be one of the best clubs. I said one of the best clubs in Barbados. And right now, we're stepping in the right direction.
It seems so because that name gets called quite frequently when it comes to sports on Saturdays. Always hearing Gladiola. It's like, how many divisions do these people actually playing? You know, because you just keep hearing the names. So that's great. Now, you mentioned that you're giving the kids at the school some kits. Do you also have some of your members help to mentor those little boys and girls who are involved in cricket?
Well, at the present moment, we got a very good mentor at Gladiola. That's Ashley Nurse, the club captain. So he's always available and willing to speak to any young cricketer who's looking to aspire or even come to the club. But he's a guy that if he see a young cricketer, he will go over and speak to them. We haven't gone out to speak to other individuals, but we've got plans. My plans, I've offered my service. I'm a cricket coach as well. I've offered my service to the school that we're donating. I've also offered my service to another school in the community as we are working with the schools. And on board, I won't give the name again, but there's another school that we will be sponsoring later this year. So the schools in St. Philip can look around to find out who that school would be, but it's one close to the club.
Well, I don't think I can guess where that is, but that's great to know. Now, do you have a date set for the AGM already, Lana?
Not as yet.
Okay.
But it's going to be sometime in February, March.
Okay.
In March.
Alrighty. So remind the folks again, Lana, about the event coming up on Monday. Okay.
It's Monday the 22nd at the Gladiola Sports Club, which is in Rices. Kicks off at 7 p.m. Gladiola versus Invitation 11 from St. Philip and St. John. The Gladiola team will be captained by former West Indies player Ashley Nurse, and the Invitational team will be led by none other than Larry Babb.
Okay, my guy Larry is going to be playing. All right, I want y'all to get Larry out for a duck so that I can fret him, okay? Promise me that, Norman. Okay. Promise me that. Right. It was great having you on the program this morning, the Gladiola Sports Club, and I wish you well as you go into 2024 with your AGM, and I hope that whoever else is elected brings the same energy that you two do to the club. We need that community involvement.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Morning Barbados will be right back.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Oh, hi. My name is Stacia Whitaker, and I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist and a member of the Heart and Stroll Childhood Obesity Prevention Coalition. My motto is, when in doubt, leave it out, and it goes for when I'm eating, because sometimes things have ingredients that we're not sure of, and I like to keep it simple. And if I'm eating something and I'm not sure the ingredients in that particular thing, then I choose to leave it out. So I keep my snacking simple.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
And Morning Barbados is back. Always great to hear about community involvement. But now we're going to be getting to talk about involvement on a wider level, a national level, a regional level, an international level even, because we're going to be looking at the issue of economic enfranchisement and reparations. And to help me in that conversation is Mr. Trevor Prescott, who is the Special Envoy on Reparations and Economic Enfranchisement. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to you, Wendy.
Now, 2023, we heard from you a lot. We heard from you with the enfranchisement, and we also got to hear with Dance Fest, which returned. Now, in terms of the whole reparations debate and all of the correspondence and meetings which you were attending, where are we at now?
Well, I think that we are at the stage where we are still making sure that the required advocacy and the educational program, because we don't want to have a top-down approach to what we're doing. So we're looking at fully enlightening the Caribbean public. And as you indicated, we are also very much in contact with our international bodies, other brothers and sisters with the African continent. But at the level of the masses of the various countries, there's a necessity to keep enlightening of what reparation is. And they must have some knowledge of what I call a post-colonial history.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I remember you had an online drive where you were trying to get young people actively involved and to sign up, to put their voices there to be heard. How did that work out? Did you get them to be as actively involved as you wanted?
Well, that arm is still in existence. I think they have to intensify their work. As I said to you, this is almost like a revolutionary change that is occurring. So you have to be constantly examining the contemporary history. There are lots of good texts, and sometimes the conversation might not be at the level it needs to be at. Because obviously,
I was going to get to that part. No, because there are quite a few naysayers in this whole reparations process. People are like, will they ever give us any money? You can keep writing to drafts until the cows come home. It's not going to do anything for us. We do have that opposition a lot. I mean, the UWI is on board with you in the fight, but we also have a lot of people who believe that we're just spinning top in mud.
No, there's empirical evidence across the region. There's empirical evidence coming from the university itself. University of the West Indies has a relationship with the University of Glasgow, and they're contributing a major sum as a form of reparations, because of they're of the opinion that the university was built on the money that came from the enslaved people in the region. We've had other people, individuals, making contributions, but it's a positive gesture.
Yes.
Right?
And we've also seen some apologies come out of England as well. And some folks have decided, okay, I'm not going to wait for an international court or agency to tell me to do it, but they've actually taken up some of the monies of their grandparents and so on and given it to various causes within the region.
Yeah. Some people describe it as minuscule, but the reality is that it's a positive gesture. And we were not doing anything much about it before. And as I said to you, you have to bring along the societies in which you're responsible for with you. So while you might be very knowledgeable about the subject matter, and you might be able to interact with people at a certain academic level, you have to be able to explain to the masses in detail why we consider this as a just decision to make at this time.
Because it's not just an academic argument,
No.
It's an all-in people argument, and not just Barbados, but the entire Caribbean. And that's something too that you've been doing. You have been unifying with other advocacy groups across the region
Yes,
and the world.
Yeah.
How are we going to step it up in 2024?
Well, as I told you, there'll be a lot of interaction. The CRC is very active, the Caribbean Reparation Commission is very active, and there are about 15 units across the region, but that does not include the NGO movements that are working along with us. We are reaching out into the continent of Africa, and you've seen the Prime Minister, you've seen other members of the government making those contacts, even with the establishment of an African Bank in Barbados and so on. All those things are new, and in some cases, lots of people are still a little confused with all the mystification over the years about Africa and the relationship between the region and Africa. But you will see some of the programs.
And I'm sure that the programming is going to be quite robust and active because you don't let up, Trevor.
Well, I just want you to know that I'll be soon back on the issue with Drax.
Oh, okay. You're returning to it.
I will return to the issue. We had a meeting with Drax last year.
Okay.
Here in Barbados. He was still very concrete in his decisions.
Not to give.
Not to give. But this year, that advocacy and the mobilization of support, even right in England itself, will occur.
That's good news to hear.
Yeah.
That's very, very good news to hear. Now, let's look at the other part of your portfolio, that of the enfranchisement. And we would have heard you on numerous occasions advocating for our entrepreneurs or vendors, and there have been some positive inroads into that sector. For 2023, did it pan out the way you wanted it to?
No, like I said to you, you can't be ahead of the people. But we made some major amendments and adjustments to the circumstances. We had legislation in relation to vendors legislation and so on, where we decriminalize the actual law itself. Those are inhibitions that we have to face. Sometimes people believe this is just a way of life, but even to become a vendor, a registered vendor, you had to go down to the law courts and stand up in the law courts and listen to your name call out as though it was a criminal act that you were participating in. They obviously keep it a very close eye on what is happening in relation to poverty in the region, things like that. So this again there's a necessity for a debate, a strong conversation on these issues.
And I'm sure you're going to find a way to forge it.
I'll bend it.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. Now, one of the other things that you did in 2023, much to the delight of many, was to bring Dance Fest back and have that community involvement again there to help empower us as a people, through a positive force, that of dance.
Yeah. Well, we felt that we had a responsibility to rejuvenate or give a rebirth to urban dance. That's what Dance Fest is all about. But because of the lull which we had over a number of years, we kind of rushed into the communities, and we discovered that there was a decline in the participation of that kind of dance. So we try to move swiftly. It is not at the optimum point that we want it to be at. But I can assure you that even after the explosion which occurred on the 3rd of December, the Dance Fest, there are lots of young men from on the rims that are now saying that we want to be back in this again. And that was the intention of having the Dance Fest.
And now you have more time to prepare.
Yes.
You don't have to cram everything into that 3 weeks now. You have more time.
Yes.
So that means we're seeing bigger and better.
Yes, and I want to see November, that part of the year, give rise to a national festival. Probably similar to the growth of crop over or NIFCA, right? But I think that November there's a necessity for us to have a national festival in November, cultural festival.
Okay, because this was going to ask you, what are some of the key elements you see being plugged in there outside of the dance?
The dance fest?
No, yeah.
Yes, in November, we're hoping that the dance fest is just one night. For a festival, we need to overshadow all that has occurred during the colonial period. We don't have Guy Fawkes and things all that.
No, can we get it back? Just at least the starlights.
We get back the starlight. You can get back the starlights and so on.
Yes.
But we don't really want back the Guy Fawkes.
No, we don't want back Guy Fawkes. But
yeah,
the
but
starlights.
there'll be lots of concerts, competitions, sporting activities, cultural activities. We're going to be working on it so that November itself should be a hive of activity.
Active month, not just the 30th we're looking at.
No, not at all.
Okay.
And then we have to represent the new republic.
Yes.
There's something fundamental must change.
Okay.
Right. So that's what you're going to be seeing.
Okay, that sounds like that's part of your theme. Fundamental change. Sounds like your theme right there, Trevor. It really, really does sound like it. So outside of that, how much more active will you and your department be as special envoy for 2024? What are some of the high point meetings already on the cards?
Well, obviously, that outreach program beyond the national sovereignty, that is one that we have to work on. More physical interaction and exchanges, especially across the region, but also reaching out to a stronger collective so that at least the reparation movement will be an international force.
Yes.
Right?
And I wish you good luck with DRAX.
I will. I will do something.
I
Trust
wish
me.
you good luck with DRAX.
Okay.
All right. We want to thank you so much for coming this morning. The Special Envoy on Reparations and Economic Enfranchisement, Mr. Trevor Prescott, a man who we know to be a man of the people. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Wendy.
Morning Barbados will be back with our news.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb. From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kia Lewis, General Practitioner and Healthy Lifestyle Advocate. Good nutrition starts at home. So this school year, I want you to consider packing healthy, nutritious snacks and lunches for your children to carry.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Yesterday's smoke incident that forced the closure of the St. Bartholomew Primary School is a recurring one for a long time, and it needs to be solved. Smoke from the incinerator at the Grantley Adams International Airport forced the early closure of the school, and the airport's management and education officials are working to resolve the environmental issue. First Vice President of the Barbados Union of Teachers, Julian Pierre, who is also the head of the union's Health and Safety Committee, says they've been aware of the problem, but a solution hasn't been found.
Incinerator at the Grantley Adams International Airport would be, I guess, downwind, as you would say, from the main buildings of the airport, which unfortunately, when they are burning and doing their thing, it blows further downwind into the neighboring district where the St. Bartholomew Primary School is. Now, it's been a number of years that the neighbors and, of course, the persons who occupy the school during the day have been complaining about the smoke, which burns basically every day. Now, years ago, the residents indicated that they would prefer the burning during the day when they're at work. But you would appreciate then that those businesses that operate during daytime and the school then would be affected. We've had cases of teachers being transferred and requesting transfers, parents requesting that their children be transferred to other schools because of this problem, which has caused much respiratory discomfort.
Mr. Pierre says there have been efforts to get by the problem, but there's still complaints.
They indicated to us in that meeting that there's a system called scrubbing that they apply to the incinerator, which is supposed to reduce the amount of emissions which are released from the incinerator. However, teachers have been complaining for a period of time that they get smoke basically every day. It is a case of persons who suffer with things like asthma, sinusitis, and those other respiratory issues. They complain daily. You've had teachers and students who've been out, teachers on sick leave, students who are absent from school. So obviously the teaching and learning process is interrupted on a constant basis.
Gaia's corporate communications specialist, Charlene Brown, says they're taking the concerns expressed very seriously. She says Gaia wants to comprehensively address the issues.
We attentively listened to the reports from the school as well as the union representatives, understanding the gravity of the situation. Following this, we shared our plan of action aimed at mitigating the discomfort caused by the smoke. And to ensure transparency and thorough understanding, a team comprising our CEO and an engineer subsequently visited the school. What this visit did was allow us to directly observe the conditions during the morning period, which the school identified as particularly problematic due to the smoke and odor. This visit was instrumental in shaping our approach and reinforcing our commitment to finding a sustainable solution.
The non-aligned countries are presently meeting in Kampala, and the Commonwealth, which has 33 members who are also non-aligned, are among the 25 small island developing states, of which Barbados is one. The Morning Report spoke with Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Baroness Patricia Scotland, about the meeting and how a document like Barbados's Bridgetown Initiative can help to address the unfairness of debt which climate disaster is bringing on these countries.
You have an absolute star as your Prime Minister. She is a star in the firmament for developing countries, and her leadership and her passion and the fact that she's pushed so hard on the Bridgetown Initiative has been incredibly important. But you know what has been fantastic about Bajans? You haven't just been talking. You've been doing. So all the things that Prime Minister Motley is doing, you know, the roof to reefs, the fact that we're looking holistically, the work she is doing with us in the Commonwealth on the Blue Charter, on the fact that we've now got the Living Lands Charter, which we're going to try to implement the 3 Rio Conventions, and we're having action plans. The fact that we are now looking at how we absolutely improve the performance management of our governments with our smart systems. The launch that I've just had of the AI consortium and digital consortium, where we are reaching out to the big global companies in Silicon Valley and elsewhere, saying, help us with the capacity, build our capacity on AI so we can actually get the data, the structure that we need to help our countries to do it. And Barbados has been at the forefront of all of that. And it must be something that gives the people of Barbados huge pride. You know, they say in Jamaica, we are little, but we're talawa, we're powerful. And I think Barbados is really punching way above her weight. And there's a lot of excitement about the Bridgetown Initiative.
And a hepatitis epidemic has broken out in the Gaza Strip due to overcrowding in displacement areas. It warned of the suspension of the complete blood count test at any moment due to shortages of what it terms as necessary materials. The conditions endured by those who are displaced are exacerbated by the absence of toilets and sanitary facilities, along with waste accumulation near recently erected contents.
Completely unbearable situations and conditions medical workers and generally the medical sector in Gaza had been going through. We're talking about a very a rapid increase of injuries on daily basis are arriving to hospitals that are still operating, one in Khan Yunis and the remaining are in Rafah district. But we can say that these hospitals are overcrowded with patients exactly as hepatitis C is starting rapidly to spread among children and adults, which hospitals right now become very crowded with such patients who are in a very immediate and in a very desperate need for urgent treatment, or to be at least being allowed to leave Gaza Strip for receiving such a treatment. But the reality on the ground that as long as casualties among civilians continue to rise, that means that more pressure on those hospitals to be providing the treatment, as the corridors, the yards and also medical workers are trying to do their best in order to keep providing the treatment for hundreds of Palestinians being wounded on daily basis amid the unprecedented lack of medical supplies, despite all amounts that had been earlier been allowed to get into the territory. But right now the entire medical sector is on the verge of collapse amid the notable shrink and dwindling of the amounts of fuel and aid had been allowed to reach these hospitals. But what we can say that they are trying to tirelessly keep providing treatment, unless just they are using a very primitive methods of care, as patients are being treated on the floor amid the very notable increased number of injuries that are arriving to these hospitals.
The Windies lost the first test against Australia early on the third day, thus allowing the hosts to return the Sir Frank World Trophy. Resuming their second innings on 73 for 6 at the Adelaide Oval and trailing the hosts by 22 runs, the Windies were dismissed for 120. Josh Hazelwood took 5 for 35 to finish with match figures of 9 for 79. Set 26 to win, Australia ended on 26 without loss to win by 10 wickets. Scores in the match: Windies 188 and 120, Australia 283 and 26 without loss. Australia retained the Sir Frank World Trophy as they have an unassailable lead in the series. The second and final test starts next Thursday. Well, that's your morning news recap. Coming up on Morning Barbados, we're going to get to hear from the winning DJ of Dance Fest. That and more.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kia Lewis, General Practitioner and Healthy Lifestyle Advocate. Good nutrition starts at home. So this school year, I want you to consider packing healthy, nutritious snacks and lunches for your children to carry, rather than having them buy them at school. And don't just pack things you think they should have. Have a discussion and come up with things that you both know they will enjoy.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Now, I'm probably prophetic and I saw Azaria winning something this year, but she was actually the lone female DJ at Dance Fest. Azaria Brathwaite, also known as MC Zari. Welcome to you.
You're welcome. Thank you so very much.
Now, what was it like being the one woman standing out in that clash?
Honestly, it was a lot of pressure, being that you don't really see MCs as females, so it was a lot of pressure to bring the standard higher than the males normally do. So it was a lot of pressure, but I made it my own.
You made it your own. How did you do that, MC Zari?
I had a plan. Along with my mentors, we had a conversation, and Dance Fest is really about the dancers. So I wanted to include the dancers into my set so that they will actually get to feel the hype of having a DJ back in them at Dance Fest. So I brought on multifarious dance team, and they really showed up for me during that session.
Okay, what are some of your favorite vibes to juggle?
Hold up. Hold up for sure.
Yeah, you got my you got my points then. You got my points. Right. So in terms of your start in this DJing world, you started at 14, I understand?
Yes, please. I started at secondary school when I went to LRZ. Our maintenance man, he's also a DJ. So when they had events in the hall at the school, I would beg him really bad to allow me to play with him, and I put the crowd with him. And every Independence Day or every event at the school, I would be DJing for the school along with some other students I were with.
Okay, so that means your popularity started from back then.
Yes, please.
Right. You also won the Teen Splash competition. Tell me a bit about that.
Well, I was in a Teen Splash competition with my DJ Toes, and
DJ Toes. Okay, go right ahead.
So we had applied online. We had to send through a video, and he actually won it, not me. And we are a team, he's a shy type, so he doesn't do the talking. I am the more outspoken person, the person that will hype up the crowd. So
you're the hype man.
I'm the hype man. Okay. I'm the person that hypes up the crowd, get the crowd going. And being that he won the competition, he said he's not going out without his MC. So that's how we won the competition, and it was our first time on the Harbour Master and the Dream Chaser as well.
Okay, now for you, you see DJing as more than just the music.
Yeah.
Tell me how you embody it as a female. We're getting to see a bit of you here on stage, right? Walk me through this moment.
That was like a dream come true. Such a big stage like that, I was really nervous. And big shout outs to my mentors, Nico Boys and Gunners, because from the time he got there, he saw me, we was dancing before just to bring down the nerves, because I've never been on a big stage like that. Okay. So I accustomed to going to normal parties and fests, so that was like a dream come through. And it was awesome. The crowd was responsive. We had the crowd dancing, and they really enjoyed when they brought the dancing.
How much they enjoyed. We're gonna take in peace.
All right. So we sing about the birthdays. It's Dance Fest. You know what I'm saying?
Shoulders, knees, and toes.
Everybody say something. Everybody.
Shoulders, knees, turn around and bend. You know got to bend. You know got to walk up and bend. And bounce money and cock up and walk up like.
You know, got to bend, folks. Now, I am sure that you will continue to bend, to move, to split, to dip, because I am sure that you're looking forward to doing lots more DJing in 2024.
Yes, please. It already has started, and I really thank Ms. Strong, everybody from the Dance Fest community, that EON Skills, everybody that actually.
That's a name from where? From where?
CBC.
Exactly. Good.
For all of the advice before I got on the stage, he actually thought he was like, remember to hold the mic properly, remember to talk properly. So it was mind blowing. I can't find the word for it.
Okay, but you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
And that's what's most important when you're on stage.
Yes, please.
To make sure that you're immersed and involved in it. Now, if you had to tell other young women about how to get into DJing and not being afraid that it's not just a man's world, what would you tell them?
Number one, to be focused. It can be it's very hard because you have a lot, they're mostly males, so it's a lot to come up and build from, and then when you get on stage, people are not expecting to see a female, they're expecting to see a male, so be focused and don't be afraid to reach out to other DJs for help. You don't know everything, so therefore people can't expect you to do something you're not accustomed to doing, so always ask other experienced DJs for help in how to get a crowd active, or whatever you want to do, get advice from other DJs. That's basically it for me.
Okay. Now, there are also a lot of DJs who will also get more involved in the music by bringing out a song and stuff like that. Is that something that...
She outed me already.
Oh, okay. So I say again, I told you I'm prophesying for her. So tell me, what's the plan?
The plan is to drop a Bashment Soca song. It's not finished yet because I'm still trying to get stuff started out, but we're not keeping it a secret until it's ready. But it's a combination with Bajan artists that are coming up as well. We are good friends, so we actually, the song is almost finished. So as soon as it's finished, we're going to drop it, and hopefully everybody loves it.
So you hope everybody loves it.
Yes,
I hope so too. You're writing alone?
No, he actually helped me write because I don't write songs.
Oh, you don't write the songs?
I don't write songs. So he puts himself in my place and we just write to suit.
Now, what are some of the topics that interest you in terms of a Bashment Soca?
When you think of Bashment Soca, you think crop over for the morning, crop over on the morning, walking on the road. So basically that's what we're trying to incorporate in the song to make it more school friendly also, that the young people could listen to it and get empowered and follow the dreams, basically.
I'm glad you said that, school friendly, because you have a problem with the lyrics not being...
Yeah, sometimes it's real problems. So we're trying to incorporate the fact that school children listen to the music that we play. So we try to incorporate it enough that they can listen to it and they get something out of it. It's just not another ordinary song that you listen to and it has no meaning, but that it has meaning and it gives you hope.
Well, I'm hopeful that you'll have a great 2024. Thanks for coming to Morning Barbados. Azaria Brathwaite, MC Zari, who is making her way onto the DJ stage. We want to thank her. Now, when Morning Barbados returns, we'll get to talk to Kelvin Carvalho and all about Dance Fest for January.
Invite dancers on the stage to party with me. Would I agree? They got to be feel that's dance team for sure. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet.
You know why?
My friend, you don't plan to get it. Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
And I'm here with a face and a person who's been on the show for the month of January talking all about dance. Calvin Carvalho, how are you this morning?
I'm well, thanks. Good morning, Wendy.
Good morning to you. Now, you've been with us. You've been bringing your dancers. We've been quite excited about it, and I'm sure you are too. How are things going for them now in terms of prepping for the season?
After the explosion of Dance Fest, the rebirth last year, the 3rd of December, the hype is still there, and from the dancers straight through to the DJs, we see groups now are emerging, coming back. People are coming back to Dance Fest. Fellas who would have missed 5 years, 8 years, who would have gone and have families and so on, now returning. And you're having that buzz within the community, in the grassroots community. So this year, I believe for sure that we will have the urban dance, right? Will be very, very prominent and strong in Dance Fest 2024.
Now, based on the individuals that we got to see here on Mornin Barbados, there are lots of strengths, and you and others have been helping them to hone those skills. So when can I come to dance lessons?
You're always welcome. But the urban dance, right? It comes with such diversity, and it gives breath for creativity and technology and so on. So when you see the dancers come, they have the song effects, they have the video effects, and there are actors, and so it's not just about the dance in terms of movement, but it's the texture, the tone, and the message that they want to convey. And most of the times with urban dance, it conveys what's happening there and then within the environment.
Okay, and we want to thank you so much for being with us for that season of dance here on Mornin Barbados during the month of January.
You're welcome.
Now, one of the other things that you have been instrumental in doing as well is helping to create that Night of Significance. Walk me through it a bit.
Night of Significance. Night of Significance with the Special Envoy, Mr. Trevor Prescott. We wanted to do something to advocate for recognition of Nanny Grigg as a national hero. And when I did the research and spent many hours chatting with Mr. Prescott, because I believe one of his first love and passions is history.
Yes, it is.
And so I got the information from Mr. Prescott, and I then went to work with it in terms of the technical aspect, in terms of writing. So scripting Night of Significance, looking at General Busa and the relationship with Busa at Bailey's Plantation and Nanny Grigg at Simmons Plantation, and the influence that Nanny Grigg had. She was the bedrock and the strategist, right? While Busa was the man to execute.
Yes, she was the planner.
Yeah, definitely. And so having the voices, having the bodies, and for the dance, the musicians, the drummers, and to reenact the coming from the west coast of Africa, and having one of the first slave ships called Jesus. Right? So when people hear this say, I want to go home, or like Jesus is coming back,
yes.
Right? When they say Jesus is coming back again, it means that they're coming to move more people again,
yeah.
Right? So and there are lots of things that we do and that we say, and we do it naturally. And we don't, and it's part of our African retentions. I remember being at primary school, and you would experience it too. Between 1 and 2 o'clock, you come in, and there's not a word, and the entire school would be just quiet. So our African retentions and is very important, and for us to understand who we are as a people, and to educate and to motivate and to stimulate and to eradicate the faults that we have been taught, right? Like Columbus discovered the Caribbean. How can you discover some place that is already inhabited? You know, so the Nights of Significance was a very strong mixed media piece in terms of theatrics and dance and music. You know, and
original pieces.
Original pieces, and that is it came in the form of edutainment, where I believe that every school, every household should see the Night of Significance. The
Was it recorded? That
yes,
we can get
yes,
to?
yes. It was recorded, and this is another project that came under Special Envoy's Department on Reparation and Economic Enfranchisement in the Prime Minister's office, and they supported that particular production 100%.
How many people are we talking cast-wise?
50.
50.
Yeah, 50 persons cast-wise. So you had the musicians alone. So you had people like Ryan Boyce, and was in charge of the music. Salif, who was in charge of the percussions and drums and so on. Sharon Grant directed it, and in terms of the technicals and props and so on, we had Chantal Graham, right, from the University of the West Indies. And so we had a really good team, and it wasn't only good, it was great. And people left the Combermere School in tears, some asking questions, some seeing it from a whole different perspective, you know, because if I write a M, you know, when you look at it, it's an M, but if I turn it upside down, it's a W. If I turn it this way, it's an E. If I turn it this way, you know, so the perspective is very important, and in order for us to expose our youth to the truth, right, we have to show them the different perspectives.
Okay. Yeah. And we know are going to be able to get to see that perspective, because we're going to be sharing an extract with you from that Night of Significance to let you know exactly what these dancers, drummers, and actors were doing to bring about part of our history.
morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
I'm Anne St. John, a consultant pediatrician. When packing healthy lunch boxes, do include a fruit, which includes a banana, apple, orange, or grapes to supply fiber. Aim for low-calorie packaged snacks without the mention of flour or sugar amongst the four ingredients on the back label. 1 in 3 children in Barbados is affected by overweight or obesity. Let us join.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're back, and we're basically keeping in the same vein of the African tradition, because we're going to be talking with Shelley Small about the Junior African Awareness Pageant. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Now, tell us what this pageant is about, and when we speak juniors, what age ranges are we talking?
Okay, thanks for having me. Well, this pageant is all about educating the primary and other people as well about the African heritage. And I started in 2017, and we've been working with primary school. We try to get the secondary schools also involved, but that has been a task. So the whole pageant is to educate children and people know where they are, and as Mr. Calvin say, where you are, where you as a person, where you're coming from, where you came from, and where you expect to go. So it's a whole education process. We prepare our kids and so on how to speak, how to build self-esteem, confidence, and also how to interact with the world that coming at them. So it's a lot of work.
Oh, it seems that way.
Oh, yes.
Now, how many schools are we talking about, or contestants this time around?
Well, we have 7 schools now on board, and because they're couples, they're 14. Also, right now, we are focusing also on the traditional wear of the country. So there's each African country, children have to, and the parents also are involved to help do research on the country. And now we bring on board the African traditional wear, where you have a younger child, boy or girl, between the age of 6 or 7 to wear that gown. And the ages of, we say, kings and queens are from the age of 10 to 11 years old.
10 to 11.
Yes,
okay.
please.
Now, in terms of the direction of the show, how is it actually formatted? How are the sections done up? Because every pageant doesn't take the same method.
Right, definitely, because I keep telling people I always like to be different. I just don't like to follow people. I just like to be creative in my own way. So I have ABKV dancers, this is my group, and we do some sections where we bring on the pageant, bring on the contestants actually, and everything is presented in dance. So you would have the contestants coming on and the dancers bring them on, and it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's not actually an MC who pulls the sections together, but you actually have movement
Definitely.
to keep things flowing.
Of course, you can't come to my show and just sit down and relax and be bored. You're going to get a lot of information, a lot of, activities, a lot of things happening, excitement. So you get to see dance, you get to see what ABKV always doing, and we put that collectively together and have a great show. Also, there are projects. There are school projects also that are involved, because there are 2 components. The school projects and also the pageant in the evening. The school project is judged on the morning, and then we go into the pageant the evening.
Okay, now Africa is a vast continent, and you mentioned that every child has a country. Who selects which countries are going to be done on which year?
Well, we as ABKV dancers, and we have a team where we pick all the country, put all the countries together, and we go into the schools and give them a package showing you your information, giving all the information about the pageant, the guidelines, question and answers, things like that to look forward for, what is entailed of the pageant, and then they're pull the country.
Getting to see some of the actual projects that they would have done.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
So it really is about educating them about their ancestry.
Oh my, yes, it is. It is. Now, about their self also as an individual, because when we talk about blacks, sometimes we said we don't like ourselves, and we teaching our children right now how to really like themselves and care about themselves, you know, hold them head up high and be proud of who they are. So it's a lot that entails on how to work with your brother, right? And how to touch one another and feel comfortable, and it's nothing to it, because in my rehearsals you have to touch, you have to hold hands. We have boys have to be gentlemen to ladies, and we teach them.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Oh yes,
because we got some of them that can be very aggressive.
Very aggressive.
Teach them that.
Oh yes, how to be a gentleman.
Yes.
You, when you give the hand, you have to say, "My lady," and you hand your hand to the lady. And when you walk down that aisle with that person, with your partner, you know, you walk with grace and feeling smart and feeling confident in yourself. So when you even lower your hand, you can't just lower it like that. You have to lower your hands very gracefully and let her know she's important, and as well as you're important as well.
Right. So it seems as though these little ones have quite a bit going there for them. Now, in terms of the actual show, and you mentioned that parents are on board.
Yes.
What are you at the end of it all looking to leverage? What's the ultimate objective for you, Shelley, for KV dancers, for these children that are going through these routines?
I want to, as I said, my objective is to bring out the best of them. Also, to teach them confidence. Some of them came to me, they don't have confidence. We want to help them build that confidence. We want them to feel proud of themselves. We want them to hold their head up high. We want them also to understand their history and how we should live as people.
Yes.
We should live loving and teach each other with respect. That's what I'm looking at.
I like that. I like that a lot. Now, in terms of the clothing, because you mentioned that there's going to be a smaller person in the wear, but also to the participants. Do you get designers on board, or is that part the parents' responsibility?
Well, it's the school and the parents' responsibility. We give them sponsor cards. They go out and try to seek as much, get as much help as possible with getting persons to help, and the schools get the projects and so on board, and trying to get, it's a great opportunity to also for those designers on the outside to be involved in this, because it helps showcase their talent on the given day. Definitely it does.
So is all the talent dance, or do you have some doing other things?
Well, the talent, because we have a talent segment with the contestants and you bring any talent on board, and that talent is a 3-minute talent which must be accompanied, because they are both the boy and the girl, and they have to be accompanied by an adult. So that adult is a part of the talent. Yes, 3-minute talent. And the reason for that is that it helps makes those children comfortable on stage to know an adult is there with them. So that's why we give them an opportunity to have an adult there. And also, you might have someone that said many years, boy, I never danced and I would really like to be on stage. It gives them an opportunity. It can be an auntie, a brother, a sister, a big sister, a granny. That's the opportunity that they have.
Because I can see a grandma or granddad now accompanying them on piano or keyboard or something like that, as they sing a duet.
Definitely. So this is an opportunity, grannies, parents, everybody that want to be on stage, come and see the show and also be a part of what we are doing. Give you opportunity. Definitely.
Somebody's here saying that maybe I'm a granny too, and I'll be playing up there with
But
them. But if they need any help, Shelley, you can call me.
Well,
sure,
of course,
sure.
I want all the help as possible.
Yeah.
I need it because it's a big task that I have on my hand, and anyone that can assist me, even help me with sponsors, is very important. So,
tell me quickly what the 7 schools are.
Okay, we have St. Giles Primary. I'm trying to remember off. I have bought my list. St. Giles Primary, Sharon's Primary. We have Wilkie Cumberbatch, George Lamin, and who else? Wilkie Cumberbatch, George Lamin. Oh, there. I'm just trying to remember.
Urban schools only so far. What happened to the country schools?
I get challenged with this country schools because of rehearsals, and getting children from the country here is a big challenge.
Okay.
And you know, parents don't have transportation and all that. And we have to get rehearsals done. So
but we'll find a way to get
it.
Definitely,
I always do. You know, I always do.
All right.
I don't give up.
We're going to take a commercial break here, and when we come back, you'll actually get to see some of those children that are going to be involved in this year's pageant.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
I'm Anne St. John, a consultant pediatrician. When packing healthy lunch boxes, do include a fruit, which includes a banana, apple, orange, or grapes to supply fiber. Aim for low-calorie packaged snacks without the mention of flour or sugar amongst the four ingredients on the back label. 1 in 3 children in Barbados is affected by overweight or obesity. Let us join together as parents and care providers to reduce the further development of this chronic non-communicable disease within our communities.
Kids Karaoke is a platform for young aspiring singers to shine and express their musical abilities. Tune in to CBC TV8 on Mondays at 5:30 p.m. and repeat it on Saturdays at 2 p.m. and enjoy the performances of these talented young singers.
For the past 19 years, QFM has been sharing with you, learning from you, and together building a community for all mature audiences. That's why we say Q is good for you. To our Q family, we say thank you for staying connected to Q 100.7 FM. QFM is a station of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. CBC, celebrating 60, connecting Barbadian communities.
Are you a youth group, 4-H club, school, Cub Scout, or Brownie Pack, or any organization or club with children ages 4 to 11 years? If yes is the answer, then we at Fun School, we're looking for you. Let's have fun singing, dancing, listening to amazing stories, doing craft, and so much more. I'm such a kid at heart. But to be part of this fun and exciting new season of Fun School, just simply send an email to Alicia Alves Grant at aagrant@cbc.bb for further details. Fun School is back, and we're looking for you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
And we're back, and we're going to get to meet some of those contestants this morning from the pageant. A few of them have a little bit of jitters, but that's expected. By the time Shelley's through with them, they'll be good to go. Next to me is Ataya Azeb Griffith, who's from Wilkie Cumberbatch. Then next to her, I have Kaishe Strawn of the St. Giles Primary, and Raina Carter, his partner, also from St. Giles Primary. And little Lilani Webb is over there with some jitters next to Shelley, but Auntie Shelley will keep her company and she'll be good to go as this pageant goes on. Now, I'll start with you, Tay. Your partner's in here with you, but in terms of the country that you'll be representing, what's your African country?
My African country is Nigeria.
And what have you learned so far about Nigeria?
The capital of Nigeria is Abuja.
Yes. Continue.
Nigeria is an English country.
Okay. Well, African speaking English. Now, what about you, Mr. Kaishe? What have you learned? Just pass him the microphone for me. What have you learned so far?
The capital of Nigeria is Niamey. Nigeria has 11 languages.
I believe you have a different country. Raina is going to help him because that's where you're his partner. So tell us about your country and what you all have learned so far.
It's pronounced Niger.
Niger, yes. Hold your mic up. Yes, go ahead.
The language that is most spoken there is French. And the most practiced religion there is
Islam.
Islam.
Yes. So tell me the rest of things that you learned, Kaishe.
The capital of Niger is Niamey.
Yes.
And they also speak 11 different languages, but the main language is French.
Yes, good. So we have some more homework to do, but you all are going to get there by the time it's pageant time. Pass that mic to Lilani for me, because I think she's overcoming those jitters now. And what country are you representing, Lilani?
My country that I am representing is Zimbabwe. I have learned that their capital is here, and they have 17 different languages, and their most spoken language is Zimbabwean English.
Okay, goody. So they're learning stuff, folks, along the way. They're going to be much more confident by the time it's pageant time. Shelley's working with them, talent, pageant, as well as the parents, because the parents are here giving support this morning as well. Kudos to you, mums and dads, for backing these children in this African awareness pageant. Now, we were talking about the need, Shelley, to have our young people more confident and understand where they are. And I think that's so key, because we as a black race are a strong race, and children must understand that each and everything that we do must embody strength.
Yes, definitely. Definitely, we need to do that and make them understand that without each other, we can't really work. We need each other to work. We need help. So as much help as we can get as possible, we welcome that.
And we've seen it already for the morning, because the couples are ensuring that they do, represent each other and so on. So Kaishe, are you ready to hold Raina's hand on that stage? Oh, you took a little long to answer me though. Show me how you're going to take it. All right. See, he's already going through the rehearsals and understanding how it is to be done on stage. Now, for you, Ataya, what do you think so far has been your favorite part of this exercise? Has it been learning about the countries, or the idea of what you're going to get to wear as an outfit? Give her the mic.
I must let you know that Ataya won last year.
Okay.
Right,
okay.
so she's here again. She's back again.
Okay, now that's impressive. You decided not to let anybody else get that space. You're taking it.
She's taking it again.
Tell me what you're going to do different in 2024 to what you did in 2023 then.
I have decided to come up with a new talent, which is singing. And my outfit will be Nigerian style, Nigerian royalty style.
Have you been watching Nigerian movies and so on? Have you been watching some of the African movies to see how the women style themselves and how they talk and how they eat and things like that? Okay, good. So she's making sure that she gets it correct. Well, I am going to get to see if you're going to win again. I'm going to get to see. No, Shelley, you were mentioning the support given, and when we come back we're going to get to see some of your people in action because you've been working with them, you and your dancers, and we want to see and hear more. Morning Barbados will be back in a bit.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Oh, hi. My name is Stacia Whitaker, and I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist and a member of the Heart and Stroke Childhood Obesity Prevention Coalition. My motto is when in doubt, leave it out, and it goes for when I'm eating, because sometimes things have ingredients that we're not sure of, and I like to keep it simple. And if I'm eating something and I'm not sure the ingredients in that particular thing, then I choose to leave it out. So I keep my snacking simple with fruit, nuts, or just water. It's easy to remember, there's no added ingredients, and it's also very nutritious. So remember, childhood obesity is real, so choose healthier alternatives. And when in doubt, leave it out.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama.
Good morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
And we'll to see piece of a dance from the ABKV dancers called Eskit.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Get to see a performance from the ABKV dancers. They're going to be doing a piece called Eskita.
የሰገደላት ውበቱን ያችን የቃል መስታየት ሞቶ ቀደማት ቴዎድሮስ ቆሞ ስቃይዋን ላለማየት የወደቀላት ውበቱን ያችን የቃል መስታየት ሞቶ ቀደማት ቴዎድሮስ ቆሞ ስቃይዋን ላለማየት ስለት ጀግና ተፈተነ በመሰናከበት ተካከበና ተዋከበና ወዲህ ዞር ቢል ሰለምና ገብርዬ ሲሆን ቀኙ ሳለና አረሩ ስቦ ጠጣው ያለማ ስለት ጀግና ተፈተነ በመሰናከበት ተካከበና ጠዋት ከበና ወዲህ ዞር ቢል ሰው ለምና የነደደ እሳት ክንዱን ተርሶ ጨክኖ ካሳ ጋትና ኮሶ ወተላንዳ የባህር አንበሳው ዳግማሮስ ካሳ በላሳ በላሳ እንዳንበሳ የአንድ እናት አገር ክብሯ ከቶ ሳይረሳ በላሳ እንዳንበሳ ንቃ በመንፈስ ለአንድነት ካሳ ተነሳ በላሳ እንዳንበሳ አንተ የሞትክላት አገር ክብሯ ሳይረሳ በላሳ እንዳንበሳ
Now, we've gotten to see the ABKV dancers, and we're also now going to invite back Shelly and the contestants because I understand they have a bit of a surprise for you viewers.
Definitely. Go quickly.
Come on back.
In position, in position. Deliver.
Now?
1, 2, 3, 4. Go.
The planet is sick like a
Moving
fever.
forward.
This is our last chance to fix this problem that we have. It starts with us or else.
Yes, that's what they're telling us. It starts with us. And it does start with us, and it's also going to get to end with us. I want to thank Shelly and the children who are going to be part of that junior pageant coming up. You must go out and ensure that you support these children because remember, they're our future. They're learning about their past to make them better people in the present so that we can all have an even more dynamic future. So it's been a great morning. We've had the special envoy on reparations and economic enfranchisement, Mr. Trevor Prescott. We've had that Carvin Carvalho, who took us with the dancers over the month of January. We've also had the Gladiola folks. We should go on up and join them for the Arrobar Bank holiday. And just to let you know that we won't be seeing you on Monday, sadly, no. It's going to be a bank holiday, so the crew and I will be back on Tuesday morning, bright and fresh, to bring you a great show. But whatever you do over the weekend, over your bank holiday, make it great, make it happy, make it strong. I'm Wendy Burke. Have a great morning.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning, Barbados.